The Grandpas and Astronomy, a wonderful experience that will last and grow. In 2019, the International Astronomical Union celebrated its 100th anniversary under the motto, Under One Sky. Two of the main objectives of the celebration: to promote an access to generalized astronomical knowledge and to improve and support an inclusive, egalitarian, and diverse astronomy community, were addressed by the Grandpas and Astronomy project, which was one of the 22 special projects selected to be supported by the IAU 100 regarding the gap in the science outreach programs in Mexico. According with the 2018 population national census, there are almost 15.5 million elders all around Mexico. Little less than 50% are economically active, and 70% suffer from some kind of disability or limitation. Even more, it is estimated that 20 to 30% of them suffer economical, physical, or sexual abuse and abandonment, making this a population with several caring necessities. Their natural physical decay carries the need for human and technological support. That is why, in 1999, the United Nations established one of its fundamental principles: the elder's right to enjoy family care and protection. In Mexico, we can find promotion and science outreach programs aimed for developing vocations and massify scientific knowledge. But these projects are focused on the early age population and, in the last 10 years, on girls and women. Naturally, the early age population represents the best opportunity for having a better society in the future, with a more analytical and critical thinking. It is considered that these outreach programs have a much greater impact if they are received at an early age. In the case of girls and women, promoting and strengthening the scientific vocation means to reduce the deep gaps of gender inequality. The native population has also become the focus of attention for scientific communication programs in the past years. This focus is not only for promoting the scientific knowledge, but also to recover the ancestral knowledge developed through centuries in an empirical way. Another aspect to consider about Mexico's science communication events, in particular the astronomical ones, is that they are frequently attended by grandparents with their families. They participate and show great interest and enthusiasm in several activities, such as conferences, sky observations, craft making, and games. However, none of these activities are designed for the specific necessities of the elder population, and sometimes their participation is reduced to become their family companions. To solve this situation, a group of passionate astronomy volunteers, some of them professional scientists with more than 20 years of experience doing science communication, decided to create some astronomical activities especially designed or adapted for elders. To do this, we have several challenges to overcome. On one hand, the most frequent physical and mental handicaps of this population, such as motor, sight, listening, and comprehension disabilities. On the other hand, the approach to the institutions, retirement houses, and third age clubs. In Mexico, this is the most difficult challenge to overcome. In order to provide our grandparents the care and support they require, each volunteer takes care of a maximum of 5 participants. The time dedicated to each activity is extremely important, since it is crucial not to be in a hurry and allow our elders to carry out their activities at their own pace, as well as taking time to talk with them about their experiences and thoughts. To avoid extra visual difficulties, it is important to have a good lighting system in the designated place for these activities. As for the mental handicaps, in this project, we seek to stimulate the memory of our elder assistants in order to delay their natural cognitive decline. This is done through games that require sustained attention and stimulate synapses, which means the connection between neurons. To achieve this, we designed a specific astronomical memory board table game. This game uses both pictures in one of the cards and words in the other group of cards, in such a way that they also strongly exercise the link between them, stimulating the so-called semantic awareness. We also stimulate mental alert, speed, and hand-eye coordination, playing astronomical lottery. Regarding physical limitations, we adapt each of the activities to the hearing and visual handicaps. For better audition, each of the volunteers adapt their voice volume to each of the groups they are working with. And in the case of having 1 or 2 hearing impaired elders, the volunteer tries to talk just behind them. For better visuals, the cards, both from lottery and from the memory game, are oversized in such a way that their visualization and handling is facilitated. In the case of memory game, the cards measure about half an A4 sheet. However, the color we initially used were too dark, which made it difficult to identify the figures. The Grandparents and Astronomy project seek to prevent the loss of elasticity, driving force, and mobility of our elder audience, and to stimulate the hand-eye coordination through handicraft workshops. The most successful activity is the one in which they create and paint a 3-dimensional model of Saturn with reused CDs. It is important to mention that, until now, we don't have any activity suited for complete blindness or deafness. Finally, observing the sky through a telescope is a very exciting experience for our grandparents. The moon is the easiest object to observe. We look out for the dates in which the moon is visible at the beginning of the night in order to prevent our elders from being exposed to cold temperatures. Observing the sun is also a good idea, nevertheless, quite difficult for grandparents with visual limitations. As for wheelchairs, the simple table can be an ally, since it is possible to put on a simple telescope on the table and place the wheelchair under it. Through experiences like sky observations, handcraft, games, and chat, a small group of volunteers carry out companionship, scientific knowledge, culture, and entertainment to the elderly population with specially adapted or designed activities for making science an age-friendly subject. Grandparents are perhaps the most forgotten and underrated part of our society. Nevertheless, they play a very important role since they are the main transmitters of values, knowledge, and traditions. The COVID-19 pandemic forced us to put on hold the practical application of the project, as our elders are the most likely to get this disease. We are currently working on establishing new alliances with planetariums, astronomical associations, and specialized institutions in the care of the elderly to grow this project more and more.